What's going on, everybody? This is Bryant from SneakerFiles.com, recapping the news. And before I jump into things, like always, greatly appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. Now, as for some of the highlights in this video, we got to talk about the Air Jordan 3 Black Cement. Once again, a lot of, these fake images going around, but we do have a set of photos, which I believe are the authentic. Well, I know they're the authentic, but we'll go over that later on in the video. As well, there's a lot of Air Jordan releases that have been canceled officially. Most of these I've gone over in previous videos, but they're making the rounds. Well, they made the rounds yesterday, and I'm going to go in a little more detail and cover everything in one spot. Now, there's a lot more from Jordan Brand, quite a few releases from Nike, and a handful of releases from ADIDAS. And now, let's jump into the news. This is a shoe that actually leaked a few months back, and we finally have a release date for it. So it's the Adidas AE1 Preloved Purple. Now, this is a pretty clean colorway, and the specific colorway used is Core Black, Preloved Purple, and Preloved Purple. So the shade of purple, it's almost like a pink hue, and that covers the TPU cage overlay. And then we have black on the upper. Now, there's like this blue tint across the toe box, and as for the release date, they're going to drop on October 5th, which, in my opinion, this kind of reminds me of a breast cancer awareness shoe, so the October timeframe does make sense, and the retail price will be $120. Now, this pair I like a lot. It's the Adidas AE1 Low Slime Green. Now, Anthony Edwards wore this pair during the Western Conference Finals. It was during Game 1 when the Timberwolves took on the Dallas Mavericks. Now, the specific colorway on this is Lucid Lime, Aurora Ink, and Core Black. And as you can see with this one, it features that bright and vibrant shade of green across the TPU cage. It also lands on the heel branding, toe box, and the lower part of the heel. Other than that, we have black up top and also green on the rubber outsole. Now, unfortunately for this one, they're supposed to debut this month, although I wouldn't be surprised if it was pushed until October, and the retail price will be $110. Hello Kitty is releasing an Adidas Gazelle indoor in October, and recently images popped up of that shoe. Now, this pair features a cloud white, red, and core black colorway. Now, Hello Kitty is celebrating its 50th anniversary, so one of the things that the Sanrio line is doing is connecting with Adidas. So this pair features leather throughout, and then we have suede across the toe box. Red hits the 3 stripes branding on the panels. We also have a red bow on the heel, and just below that is an image of Hello Kitty. Now on the side we have Gazelle branding. On the tongue labels we also have Hello Kitty branding, and then on the insoles we have Adidas and a special logo from Hello Kitty representing its 50th anniversary. Also across the panels, we have Hello Kitty's bow embossed. Now, at the time of recording, we don't have a specific release date, but October 2024 is when they're expected to drop, and the retail price will be $120. Moving on to Nike, and we have a couple release dates for the Nike KD line, and the first one is the Nike KD for Christmas. Now, I will say that the release date is a bit odd because it's November 20th. Now, initially, these were supposed to debut in December for Christmas. Also, this is an original colorway which dropped back in 2011. And to be honest, I'm not sure why they're dropping them so early, over a month before Christmas. Now, don't get me wrong, this might be a good thing for those who want to buy them and wear them on Christmas Day. You'll be able to get them well in advance. It's always annoying when Nike or any brand releases a holiday shoe and it's like the day before the holiday or the day of. Sure, you can go into store and buy them, but if you're ordering online, which a lot of us do, you're not getting them in time to wear on that day if that's what you plan on doing. But the official colorway for this one is metallic copper in black, and November 20th is the release date, and the retail price will be $130. Now, this is a pair that may do well. I'm not entirely sure. I know when they initially dropped back in 2012, they sold out. It was a very popular shoe, and this is the Nike KD4 Ant Pearl. So many months ago, it was announced that the shoes would be returning in 2024, and the official colorway on these is Pink Fire 2, black and metallic silver. Now, we do have a release date, which is October 3rd, and the retail price will be $130. I'm very curious to see how these sell this time around. More than likely, they're not going to do well. That doesn't mean it isn't a dope shoe, because it is, but it's really going to come down to how many pairs are going to be available. But let me know if you plan on picking up a pair down in the comment section below. I've been a really big fan of the Nike Air 180. All of the colorways that have released this year, I've liked. And we're going to add another colorway that I really want to pick up, and that is the Air 180 Baltic Blue. Now, this is a brand new colorway to my knowledge. It's not an OG. And the official colorway on this one is Baltic Blue, Black, and Lightning. I actually like these better than the Dusty Cactus pair, which released not too long ago. Now, for this one, we have Baltic Blue across the base. It also lands on the ankle, midsole, heel counter, within the air unit, and some of the smaller details throughout. And then we have black on the overlays, with yellow on the tongue branding, heels, branding on the insoles, and then the swoosh. These I'm definitely going to pick up, but I'm going to wait until they go on sale, because more than likely that's what's going to happen. Now, as for a release date, this pair is expected to debut in October, although that isn't 100% confirmed, and the retail price will be $150. Joining the 2024 Halloween pack, we have the Nike Air Force 1 Low. Now, the Nike Air Force 1 Low is no stranger to release for the holidays, or in this case, Halloween. And dropping alongside this pair is the Nike Dunk Low, which I showcased in a previous video. Now, the two will feature different color themes. However, one thing will be the same, and that is a skull done in rubber across the toe box. So I definitely think this is an interesting look. I'm not entirely sure if I like this pair yet. I like the Dunk. That's just because of the color theme. It features shades of like green. This isn't so bad, but across the upper, it's constructed with leather, and it looks like it's cracked or even kind of scuffed in areas. Now, it could be that the upper may wear away, although I'm not entirely sure on that. You can also see the brighter crimson-like shades around the edges. They also come with wax laces, and then the swoosh logo is also made of rubber and has like a 3D look. The Nike Air on the heel is embroidered in black, and then we have a black midsole and a matching rubber outsole. These aren't horrible. They're not bad. I just wish it was a little more vibrant. Maybe if they do wear away, it'll display something different, and that would make them a lot better. Now, as for a release date, for this pair, we don't have a specific one, but as most of you probably assumed, October 2024 is when they're expected to release, and the retail price will be $140. So, since we talked about the KD4 Christmas and the KD4 Ant Pearl, I thought I should include another KD4 that will be dropping in 2025, and that is the return of the KD4 Easter. Now, you may have seen news going around about this, but I am here to confirm that they are returning. Now, for those that don't know, this is an original colorway, which was released in 2012. Now, for 2025, this pair will come dressed in mint candy, white, and new green, which is the same exact colorway as the 2012 pair. Now, as for a specific release date, unfortunately, I don't have one, but summer 2025 is when they're expected to drop, and the retail price should be $130, although I don't have confirmation on that part just yet. I know some people have been asking me about the Kobe Bryant Nike Air Force 1 Low releasing in black. I didn't have information on that, but that has changed, and we now have a first look at the shoes. So this pair will release alongside the pair in white, which I showcased off in a previous video, I'm not sure how long ago. And for this pair, it features a black varsity maize and varsity purple colorway. So it comes constructed with black leather throughout, and then embossed, we have the Kobe Shield logo throughout. Now, the white version doesn't have the Shield logo embossed throughout. It's quite different. Other than that, we have varsity maize on the swoosh, tongue label, heel tabs, air on the midsole, and the rubber outsole. Now there's a little bit of purple, which outlines the swoosh logo. It also fills in the Nike Air branding on the tongue. And unfortunately, we don't have a clear shot of the heels, but I'm going to assume that the branding on the heels will also be purple. Again, I'm just assuming here. And overall, in my opinion, these are nice. I just wish it didn't have the embossed Kobe Shield logo throughout. Maybe have it just once by the heel, just like on the white pair would have looked so much better, and these would have been my number one between the two. And they're not bad, but I definitely like the white pair more. And as for a release date, unfortunately we don't have one, but this pair is expected to debut holiday 2024, and the retail price will be $150. Who Decides War has more Jordan Flight Court colorways releasing. So in one of the previous videos, I think it was the last one or maybe the one before that, I talked about the pair known as Simply Black. But launching in the holiday 2024 season, alongside the black pair, we have a pair known as Off NOIR. Now, this is our first look at the shoes, and as you can see, it features pretty much the same theme as the black pair. Now, the official colorway on this one is Off NOIR, Varsity Red, and White. Now, the shoes will feature a denim-like material on the panels, but for the rest of the shoe, it appears that it comes constructed with nubuck and some hits of leather. Other than that, we have their unique stitching, which kind of makes it look distressed. That lands on the panels by the toe and heel. And although we can't see it in these images, there will be a Jumpman with Who Decides War's logo, which is kind of like a door. I don't know really how to explain it, but the second pair I go over, you'll be able to see it better. Now for this one, they're expected to drop holiday 2024 alongside the black pair, and the retail price will be $115. Now, they also have another pair, which is known as Coconut Milk, and this one is supposed to drop in 2025. So comparing this one to the other two, it's a little brighter, I guess you could say, the best way to describe it. And the official colorway on this one is Coconut Milk, Varsity Red, Muslin, and Off NOIR. So they're kind of going with a little bit of an aged look here, although it's not really present on the midsole. So it doesn't really look aged. It's just the colors used typically when Jordan Brand uses them, they're on the midsole, so it gives it that aged look. Now, as for the materials, it looks like we have the same situation here. We have nubuck, some leather, and what appears to be denim. Now, like I mentioned, we have a clear shot of the heel, which has a red Jumpman and Who Decides War's logo infused. This one also comes with their unique stitching, which again makes it look distressed. And then to finish the look here, we have a milky translucent rubber outsole. Now, we don't have a specific release date for this one, but this pair is expected to drop summer 2025, and the retail price will be $115. Now, both will release in women's sizing, and the retail price is $115. However, the Coconut Milk pair will also drop in preschool sizes for $70, and toddler sizes will cost $55. Alright, so we have a bit of an update on the Maniere Air Jordan 4 While You Were Sleeping. Now, this is the Fossil Stone pair, as many of you know. And the official colorway on this one is Fossil Stone, Metallic Pewter, and Burgundy Crush. Now, the initial release date for these was September 28th, I believe, and then it was pushed back 2 days and expected to drop on September 26th. Now, I'm assuming that is going to be for boutiques and the sneakers app, but they're going to drop a little bit earlier than that via Maniere. So the release date and the date they're dropping them is September 20th. And I do have some good news. So initially, the retail price was supposed to be $250, but it's actually going to be $225, which makes it so much better in my opinion, because $250, yeah, we're getting steep on these prices here. $225 is way more doable, although some will say that's still high, and yeah, it is for a pair of sneakers. I totally get it, but I'd rather pay $225 than $250. So once I have more information as far as the confirmation when they're going to drop on the sneakers app and boutiques, I'll make sure to let you guys know. I believe it was in my last video, maybe it was the one before that, I showcased a first look at the Air Jordan 1 High OG Rare Air in Deep Royal Blue. Now, The problem with that first look is that it was customized by Who Decides War. I did mention what releases to the public would look more like the mock-up, and I presented the mock-up, but a couple days after that video went live, we actually received a first look. So this will be the first look without all of the designs on the sides. And I'm not going to lie, these look really nice to me. I like the color blocking a lot. The mock-up is on point. And to go over the pair, they come dressed in white, black, neutral gray, deep royal blue, and muslin. So we have white leather on the base, as well as the toe box, and then deep royal blue will run across the overlays, laces, and on the tongue label. There is a bit of black, which will hit the swoosh logo and the wings, and then red will hit the swoosh logo on the tongue label. Now, every pair in the series will have a similar theme as far as the tongue label goes. It'll be blue and red. Even the Cinnabar pair, you can kind of see it in that first look that I showcased in the previous video, but it was a horrible first look. And then as for the ankle, the base of it, it looks like we have suede, which will be in gray. Now, we only have the one photo, so it's not our best look. And then completing the look is an aged midsole. So at the time of recording, these are scheduled to drop on February 1st, but it's very possible they could get delayed. And they will drop in full family sizing. So men's will cost $180, grade school will cost $140, preschool is priced at $85, and toddler sizes will cost $70. Let me know your thoughts on this pair down in the comment section below. Alright, so across Twitter, Instagram, all the social media websites, there was a lot of announcements about shoes that have been scrapped for the holiday 2024 season. Now, most of these, actually all of these, I have covered in a previous video, with the exception of one. And I did mention that I heard that they were canceled, although I didn't have confirmation at that time, so it was more of a rumor. But yeah, all these are confirmed to be scrapped. But you know, even though I have gone over these pairs in previous videos, for the most part, it has been kind of spread out amongst multiple videos, so there wasn't just one video you can see it in, I believe. And two, I'm still getting comments about a lot of these shoes. So either way, I wanted to go over the pairs that have been scrapped. Also, I have to talk about another pair, and that will be the last shoe. But the first one is the Air Jordan 3 Brown Cement. Now, what I will say about this one is we have no idea what they were supposed to look like. This is just a mock-up based off of the color theme. And I'll be honest, it kind of makes sense for this pair to be scrapped, although it does have potential. It could be a really dope shoe. It's just that we have the black cement coming. So this is a pair that would have been dope if we didn't have the black cements releasing, and of course if they look like this. But the official colorway on these was supposed to be Baroque Brown, Cement Gray, Black, and Cell, and the retail price on these would have been $210. Another pair that I talked about in a previous video being scrapped is the Air Jordan 1 Low 85 Mocha. Now, I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised that this was scrapped because the Mocha color blocking is popular. Anytime it hits a 1, people tend to like it. And these were supposed to release alongside the metallic black pair, which we recently received a first look of. Now, although this image is a mock-up, this was supposed to be what they were going to look like. So again, these are pretty clean. I like them. And who knows, we may see a release in the future, but there are no plans at this point. For this pair, they were going to be dressed in white and dark mocha, and the retail price was supposed to be $160. When it comes to being asked about a certain shoe being scrapped because somebody heard a rumor or something like this pair probably ranks either third or fourth on being asked. So this is the Air Jordan 6 Fire Red. The nickname was due to the color scheme, which is black, fire red, and iron gray. Now, this is a mock-up, but again, this is an accurate one of what was supposed to release. And I'm not gonna lie, these look clean. I like them. But unfortunately, no plans for these to drop, and it kind of makes sense that these don't drop, or that they've been scrapped at least, because they were supposed to drop on October 12th, and that is just around the corner. We should have seen a first look of this pair like months ago, because also they were expected to be in full family sizing. So that means they were supposed to be a GR. But yeah, unfortunately, no longer releasing. This is another pair that I was excited to be released, and it seemed that there was a good amount of people that were excited about it too, and that is the Air Jordan 13 Chutney. Now, for those that don't know, This is an original colorway, but when they first dropped, it was in low top form. Now, for the holiday season, they were supposed to bring them back in mid top form with a few different twists. For example, the original low top version featured nubuck on the panels, but this pair was going to have mesh, and of course, it was in mid top form. Also, this was an accurate mock-up of what was supposed to release. The official colorway is black, chutney, and white, and the retail price would have been $200. Hopefully, they revisit this down the line, and we eventually see them drop. With all the pairs in this list, the Air Jordan 1 High OG Olive probably ranks the second, with people asking if they're still releasing, and when they find out they're not releasing, they get disappointed, which makes sense because this is actually a very, very clean colorway in my opinion. And yes, unfortunately, they have been scrapped. And this is a mock-up, but this is an accurate mock-up of what was supposed to release. Now, this pair was set to drop on November 16th, but again, they're not dropping. Also, they were going to be available in men's and grade school sizing, and the official colorway is medium olive, black, and summit white. You know, there's a lot of nice colorways on this list that eventually I hope they revisit down the line and actually decide to release them. This is the pair that I wasn't 100% sure if they were canceled when I initially reported about it maybe a month or two ago. Actually, it might have been 3 months. And this is the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Low OG Pale Vanilla. Now, this mock-up is not accurate. Nobody knew how they were going to look, all speculation. And the official colorway on these was supposed to be Pale Vanilla, black, cream 2, and muslin. Yes, they have been officially scrapped. They're no longer releasing, and they were supposed to drop sometime this holiday season. Unfortunately, we didn't have a specific release date. Now, for this pair being scrapped, it doesn't really bother me. I'm not a fan of the colorway, but again, we don't know how it was supposed to look. It could have looked really dope, and then a lot of people would probably be upset. But I feel that since we don't know how it's going to look, at least the letdown isn't that big. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. If Jordan Brand did release them and they look like this mock-up, would you have picked up a pair? Now, this last one saddens me that I have to talk about it, and that is the Air Jordan 5 Black Cat. And yes, they have been canceled. So some of you may remember maybe 2-3 weeks ago, I talked about the shoes potentially being back on or not being scrapped. And one of my sources who I asked about the shoes said they're still in the system. They haven't been reported as scrapped. And I wanted to wait until I actually reported that, but I didn't, because then I heard from a few sources that Jordan Brand actually has started production on the shoes. So to me, having this information meant that they were back on, but in fact, what it really meant was that when I heard that they were hitting production, that information was wrong information that was provided to me, and the individual who told me that they're still in the system, yeah, their system wasn't updated, so it didn't update on their end yet. So it's very, very unfortunate. I know so many people were looking forward to the shoe. This is the number one shoe I get asked about repeatedly. And I feel that Jordan Brand is letting a lot of people down by not dropping them, because these are dope for one. And the Black Cat series is like at its peak right now, especially in 2025. We have the Air Jordan 3 Black Cat and the Air Jordan 4 returning. So why not release a new pair part of the series? Now, even if they wanted to wait until 2025 and drop them when the Air Jordan 5 is celebrating its 35th anniversary, that would have been dope. But unfortunately, that's not happening. They're off the table. They're no longer releasing. So again, I do want to apologize about my last video when I said they were back on. Unfortunately, it's just not going to be the case. Now, maybe eventually down the road, they could revisit this and we eventually get the shoes, because it would make sense. There was a ton of people that wanted these to release. And the crazy part about this is that this is a mock-up. I have no idea what they're going to look like, and the mock-up is just based off of the color scheme, which is anthracite, black, and off noir. Somebody did tell me at Jordan Brand that our mock-up is not on point to what was actually going to be released, but now scrapped. So I don't know how they were going to look. But if Jordan Brand ever wants to revisit the idea, just take the shoe right here and just release it. Everybody would be happy about it, but it's very unfortunate. These were supposed to drop on December 7th and available in full family sizing. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Out of all these pairs that I covered that are officially canceled, which is the biggest letdown? For me, it's probably got to be the Black Cat Air Jordan 5. Alright, so moving along from all the canceled Air Jordans, we now have some on-feet photos of the Air Jordan 5 Black Metallic Reimagined. And I'm not going to spend too much time talking about them because I feel like I've been talking about them a lot, and I don't want to oversaturate it on one shoe. I know most of you don't mind it, but I feel like there might be a few who do mind it, so we're not going to spend too much time on this. But the biggest complaint that I have seen about the shoe is the material used, saying it's a bit ashy. And, you know, in some photos, I have noticed that. When it comes to sneakers, that's kind of a pet peeve of mine. I hate when the upper is ashy. It annoys me. So I get where the complaints are coming from. But let's just hope that these are early pairs and, you know, maybe some of them just aren't up to quality like we want to see. But what I will say about these on-feet images is that the individual took them with the flash on, so you can see some of the 3M detailing with them on feet. And overall, I think they're dope. I really like them a lot. Yes, they might have their downfalls. They're not perfect. And sure, I would have liked the OG black metallic to return instead. But I'm also not mad at the overall look. Now, onto the release details. This pair will drop on February 8th. And I am hearing that the retail price could be $210, although I do have $220. Again, I haven't received the confirmation of the retail price. I hope it's $210. I'm just hearing two different things as of right now. So I'm sure you've seen the flood of Air Jordan 3 black cement images. You've probably seen multiple videos on Instagram, YouTube, people doing reviews of them. I did have the opportunity to purchase the shoes early, not for cheap, it was pretty expensive, but I decided not to because I'd rather, you know, do my reviews or, you know, my short videos on a pair where I 100% know where it comes from. Not saying that any of the individuals got fakes, but what I will say is some of these pairs, the images going around, some of you guys need to check your sources because yeah, they're looking real off. But I will say, and this might seem biased because he's a good friend of mine, Z Sneakerhead Z, he recently got a pair. He posted some shots of them, which I'm including here. His pair looks a lot, and I mean a lot better than a lot of these other pairs that I've been seeing going around. Now with his pair, you can see how it's kind of sloped. The shape on his looks better. Is it perfect? No. Are they going to get it perfect? Unfortunately, no. But his does look better. Again, the only downfall, in my opinion, that I dislike is the elephant print. I do believe it should be darker. It shouldn't be as light. Now, the overall pattern of the elephant print is better, in my opinion, than the 2018. But that's just my opinion. And the spacing on his pair, the amount of space between the seams and where the elephant print starts, looks better on his pair. So basically the overlay where the elephant print is around the toe, it looks good. The leather quality, it looks decent as well. Again, this shoe is going to be mass produced. So I do expect some people's pairs to look wonky, to look off. And that could be the case with some of these YouTubers and people who got them in hand showing them on IG. That could be the case. But there has been some pairs that I'm pretty sure are fake and people are showing off as real. Now, when these images started going around, a lot of people seemed to be happy with the overall look, which is a lot different from the first set of images and even the second. So the first set of images that I shared in the last video, I believe, yeah, those were fake. The second ones were authentic, but even then, the shape wasn't really that great. Now these, I know where he got them from, and obviously they're authentic. He's not going to mess with fakes. And I'm not just saying that because he's a friend of mine. I'm just being honest. These look good. And overall, I'm trying not to be so negative about everything just because, you know, it's still a dope shoe. And in my last video, when I kind of went off, some people made the point is, who cares? We're still going to buy it. Mind you, even though I went on a rant even after my rant, I said I'm still going to buy it. So yes, those individuals are correct. I am going to buy it. Most of us are. There are some people who stated that they're not going to buy because they own the 2018 and they like that version better, which I totally respect. Now, I do own the 2018, but I'm definitely going to be picking these up as well. But more so, let me know your thoughts down below. How do you think the shape is looking here, the overall quality on these images? Now, unless you do, YouTube and you're making money or you're trying to build a YouTube channel, there's no reason you should be buying these early and paying resale for them unless you really need them for some reason, because there's going to be a lot of pairs dropping. They're mass producing these. I wouldn't even feel comfortable on release date paying resale for them. This is either a retail or I'm going to wait until they restock, because more than likely they're going to restock multiple times. Unless you don't mind paying extra or you're trying to build like an IG page or a YouTube channel, just wait and be patient on these. And like I mentioned, I have the chance to purchase early as well. I just don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I like what I've been doing with the shorts. I'm getting them from one place where I know they sell authentic stuff, and it's not super in advance. Maybe the most is like 3 weeks to a month, and I feel good and safe doing it that way. But this pair is going to drop on November 23rd, so we still have some time for the release date. And as most of you guys imagined, they're going to be available in full family sizing. So we have men's priced at $220, grade school will cost $150, preschool is priced at $90, and toddler sizes will cost $75. There's a couple clips in this video that I'm recording today. Typically I record the night before, but some big information came out. One of the pairs was the Kobe Bryant Air Force One Low, and then the next pair is what I'm showing here, and that is the Air Jordan 12 Blueberry. So I knew I couldn't wait until my next video to drop it, but we received a first look, and I gotta admit, these look great. I'm a big fan of them. Now, as you could see, it is on point to the mock-up that Z and I put out months and months ago. And basically what it is, it's the Cherry Air Jordan 12, but instead of red, we have blue, and that's why we have the Blueberry nickname. Now, the official colorway on these is white, black, and game royal. We have white leather up top. It also hits the tongue. The same shade fills in the laces. And then game royal runs across the mudguard, most of the midsole, and the rubber outsole. We do have some black, which lands on the branding and the strip that runs down the heel. And then metallic silver hits the top two eyelets. With all the scrap pairs, I'm glad they didn't scrap these. In my opinion, these are clean. Very, very nice. Now, as for the release details, this pair is set to drop on December 18th, and the retail price will be $210. These are also expected to drop in full family sizing. Now, to me, the Air Jordan 12 Cherry is the best between the two, although the Blueberry pair is very nice. But then again, I'm a fan of OG colorways. I've always been, so I'm a bit biased here. So I want to ask you guys, which pair do you like better? The Air Jordan 12 Blueberry or the Air Jordan 12 Cherry? And that's going to do it for this video. Like always, greatly appreciate you guys for watching. If you have a second and haven't done so already, also appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. One more thing, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you can be alerted every time I drop a new video. Now, for the rest of this week, at the minimum, I have 2 more shorts. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to drop those, either Friday and Saturday, maybe another one today, and then another one Saturday. We'll have to wait and see on that. Also, I just picked up the Air Jordan 1 Low OG Howard, the Air Jordan 1 High OG Satin Shadow, and the Kobe 9 Halo that's supposed to drop in a week. So I'm going to be dropping videos on those very, very soon. I gotta actually record those. But the next short I drop, at least when it comes to actually having sneakers in hand, will be a shoe that releases at the end of the month. So I got those a bit early, and I'll give you my thoughts on those, of course, in that video. But for this one, let me know what you liked or disliked down in the comment section below. As well, if you have any questions, make sure to leave that down below. Again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to SneakerFiles.com, and if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe.